though, at 38 on a minimum wage contract. Now at 40, he's just helped guide them back to La Liga for the first time in 24 years, scoring in both the playoff semi-final and the final. Oh, Santi Cazorla. It just feels like this is one of those footballing years. Hey, low fat, mo fat, what a name, but big up yourself. I saw you say, well, go on earlier. It feels like one of them years in football, isn't it, really? Like the year of the underdogs. Apart from us, but it is what it is. Again, Christian Falk, who I believe works for Sky Germany, said, our story, Bayern are discussing a transfer of Gabriel Martinelli of Arsenal. Discussing. They could have discussed it and said, no, actually, he's not that very good. Forget all of that type of thing. Or maybe he might want to join us. Maybe Arsenal, if they get 50 million offer, it might make them a bit horny and they'll sell him. Maybe that is that. But just because they're discussing it, don't mean they're going to buy him and it's going to do anything for us. Man said Santi loan deal for next season. It wouldn't be the worst. We've definitely done worse. And even this, and why I don't buy too much into it, is because this done. Bayern are linked with wingers, so naturally it's easy to just make up these stories. But just by going on this guy's account, bro, everybody's getting linked with someone, bro. My man's just. I'm trying to scroll down so I ain't missing anything, but these men have linked Bayern with. They're still running the Rafael, the Nico Williams, even though he's going Barca. They're still mentioning Bacola. Then you scroll up here. Diaz. Now the Diaz thing to Barcelona, it doesn't look like it's happening, but that's someone that can play all across the front three, plays left wing, right? He's been linked with Bayern. Martinelli, as we've discussed, he's been linked with Bayern. Cody Gakpo, I don't know why he would leave. Bayern Munich's a fantastic club, but I don't know why he'd leave Liverpool right now. He's been linked with Bayern. Jamie Gittins, just like Chelsea, can play in a bunch of roles like off the left. He's been linked with Bayern. Bro, my man's just got the ball and he's just shooting in terms of linking players to Bayern from 30 yards. Like, you're thinking any winger he can think of, he said that Bayern are on them, innit? Gittins there, still running the Nico Williams one. Look, Bayern are still hoping to have a chance for Nico Williams of Bilbao if Barcelona, Balvelona, as he's put there, couldn't pay the transfer. Really? So excited to make this up. He couldn't even spell check. It's come from someone dyslexic as well. But nonetheless, apparently we've set an asking price. Is Bayern consider Gabriel Martinelli transfer? They're discussing him according to reports in Germany. He's played 225 times for us. He did only cost 6 million, so we would make a significant profit. He's played at least 40 games in each of our last 3 seasons, so he is kind of a key player, but he is someone that naturally the club have to be open to offers. You haven't made yourself unsellable. Saka's unsellable, and even that is a player really unsellable. Arsenal's pursuit of a new winger has raised doubt over Martinelli's future at the club. Naturally, if we look at what I would say statistically is Arteta's strongest front three, it would have been Kai Havertz, Martinelli, and Saka, right? Obviously, if we just look at the starting 11 and not depth, if we're talking about players that come in and upgrade us, 2 of those 3 positions up front need to be upgraded upon. So my point of saying that is to say this: if I'm a journalist with my head screwed on and I'm milking it by linking Arsenal with transfers, people with Arsenal signings, etc., right? I'm obviously, as soon as they sign a striker, what's going on with Kai? I'm going to make articles about that. If we sign a left winger, what's going on with Martinelli? Get where I'm going. I'm just trying to find where it said that the asking price. Apparently the arrival of a new winger would certainly harm Martinelli's game time at the Emirates, with Saka a lock-in on the other wing. Interest in Martinelli has come in the form of Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, who have expressed interest in a move, according to Blin. Company is keen to sign some attackers. We all know there's lost Sane, Arteta, and Martinelli remains to be seen, but he's got a deal until 2027, and apparently we'd want at least 50 million. Fair play. Martinelli, meanwhile, is said to be hoping to extend his stay in North London, having declared his love for Arsenal back in April. Apparently, he's got an option of another year. So essentially, in theory, he's contracted until 2028 then, really. So I'm not too sure. And you're relying on the player. But as stated, they're linked with Diaz and Cody Gakpo. So it is what it is. The only left winger they ain't been linked with is Marcus Rashford. And you'd imagine they'll go do that in a second. You would have seen earlier today, Arsenal apparently are reportedly growing frustrated with Benjamin Sesko over the RB Leipzig stars' wage demands. The Gunners are keen to bring in Sesko, 22 this summer, with the 70 million rated Slovenian striker having been tracked by the club for a long time. Mikel Arteta's side had offers rejected for Sesko last summer and in January, and he was their number 1 target as they look to strengthen in attack, having come second in the Premier League for the 3rd consecutive season. Arsenal also eyeing up Gyokeres, who is valued at around 60 million. But for now, the Swede is viewed as an alternative to Sesko if a move can't be completed. According to The Sun, Arsenal's hopes of bringing in Sesko have hit a stumbling block in regards to his wage demands. The report claims that Sesko is asking for a deal at a much higher level than the Gunners were planning to offer. That typically happens in business. This could hamper any potential transfer. Maybe that's why the Gyokeres stuff won't go away. And we hear that Berta likes to tie up several deals so we can move in either direction. And it's an issue that may force a rethink from Arsenal's perspective. Gyokeres is said to realise he's not Arsenal's first choice, but he's still desperate for a move to the Premier League following a stunning season where he scored 53 goals and 13 assists in just 52 games for Sporting. That's quality, man. The Portuguese side are willing to sell him. The Gunners and their sporting director, Andrea Berta, are keen to make sure they don't miss out on both their targets. Meanwhile, amid speculation over Sesko, who has been linked to several top European clubs and also rejected an offer from Saudi Arabian side El Hilal, the 22-year-old's agent, Elvis Bazanovic, this week provided an update on the situation. Even if there may be or will be a strong desire of any player to move to a certain club, we will never force or blackmail RB Leipzig. I believe this is not the right way, because the way you actually exit from a club shows your values that you are bringing into a new club. I can understand in very big transfers, there are a lot of different interests, but no matter what, I believe in football world should be more respect. So that's why we do things in the right way or we don't do them. It's very simple. Even maybe in the media, it looks very complicated. Fair enough. He also said Sesko's numbers at his age compared to some strikers with already great careers at his age are confirming my words. Obviously, Sesko's his client. He's going to talk him up. There's no point me being an agent and downplaying my talent. It don't make sense. It's like Eddie Hearn not gassing up his boxes. It's not how you sell fights, is it? He will move from Leipzig only when we recognize a special club, a special project with a special coach. And to be fair, you've heard everything under the sun with Sesko and Gyokeres. The latest with Sesko is he wants a release clause in any potential Arsenal deal. Apparently, United accept Gyokeres is joining Arsenal. People, they've given up, according to Football Insider. It's weird because they believe he's joining Arsenal. He believes Sesko is Arsenal's first choice. It's just a merry-go-round, man, but it is what it is. Arsenal shifted their focus to Rodrygo after accepting defeat in the chase for Nico Williams, according to the Spanish media. I'll believe it when I see it in relation to Rodrygo. Trossard, meanwhile, has often had to deputize in other positions and is on an expiring contract, with negotiations moving incredibly slow in recent months. Should no agreement on fresh terms be reached, he could be sold this summer. We know he was desperate for Williams. Ain't happening. Arsenal are still keen on Rodrygo. Allegedly, he's still on the short list. It's going to take a lot of money. God knows for his wages, which we've also heard is a stumbling block, but they're going to want around 100 million euros. So what's that, 80 odd? I'll believe it when I see it, man. Partey is 90% likely to let his contract expire, people. Apparently, the North London club changed their stance on a potential exit for the 32-year-old in previous windows. Partey had increasingly become a candidate to depart, but it's been a different story this summer, with Arsenal determined to extend his expiring contract. An offer for fresh terms has been on the table for months. As far back as April, Partey had been stalling on green light and extension. There's been complete radio silence on the matter since then. With 30th of June mere days away, it seems that Arsenal will lose out on one of their most reliable performers of the previous season. He's 90% likely to go. Apparently, he's got interest from other Premier League clubs, and AC Milan, Juventus, Atletico Madrid are still linked with Donny, man. So I don't know what to make of that. That was the interview I was talking about. But long story short, he revealed he would join Arsenal in 2018 after Atletico Madrid beat us in the Europa League. In 2020, Andrea Berta wanted him to stay, but he left after the president refused to give his agent a 10% commission. So, boy, Berta has been here before with this Donny in it, really and truly. I've covered this before, but long story short, apparently Arsenal believe that 80 million is probably too steep for Gyokeres. 75 million for Sesko is a bit too high, given his unprovenness in the Premier League. And if something goes left with that, we all know Ollie Watkins is the first striker consistently linked with us. We've gone over this, but Gyokeres' dreams of playing for Arsenal. Studgrass could be about to sign Nathan Butler-Odeji. He left Arsenal after getting released. Mark Gurhey apparently wants a Liverpool move. We've gone over Partey already, so I won't bore you lot. Well, except we've gone over Partey. We've been linked with Leicester City's El Khanous. Apparently, we've already reached an agreement on personal terms. We now need to reach an agreement with Leicester on the fee, folks. We've held talks with Jarell Hatto's reps. Arsenal want to speed up the process to beat Chelsea to the signing. Zubimendi will wear the 36 shirt. His move will become official in the first week of July. I hope that's the last time we get to see that. We've been linked with Warren Zaire-Emery. PSG have no intention of letting him go. This is said we're willing to go as high as 70 million for Sesko. So a bit directly conflating what we've seen already, innit? We can close that. We're linked with Matoma Azar Bayern Munich. So again, piggybanking off what we've been reading. We're still linked with Ogomi of Sevilla. Madueke, we don't need him, people. He's not got nothing we're missing apart from depth. I did cover this in a video earlier, but apparently Arsenal have identified Brentford's Nordgaard as their target. He's 31, same age, or more or less same age as Partey. He's got 2 years left on his deal. It don't make sense, in my opinion. Yes, he's Premier League proven he isn't the worst. It could be a shrewd short-term addition. Don't make sense to me, man. Arsenal's move for Real Madrid's winger Rodrygo's hit a stumbling block because of the Brazilians' wage demands of 10.2 million a year, people. So yeah, we've gone over that already. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything else here. We'll say 60 million star, incredibly frustrated. Arsenal haven't bid for him yet. Berta is playing a risky game. Gyokeres frustrated that Arsenal are yet to send an offer to Sporting. Right now, it's believed Arsenal will sign either Gyokeres or Sesko to solve their striker conundrum. But in terms of clubs interested in Gyokeres, they might need to make a decision swiftly, given the Swedish striker is finding the lack of movement from North London incredibly frustrating. That's according to journalist Andy Brassel, who was speaking on the Continent podcast. What did you specifically say? Firstly, the fact that there's not going to be any European football. And secondly, the fact that it's been quite clear they are not exactly flushed over the last little while. And the fact that when Gyokeres has gone to the open market, Federico Varandas, the sporting president, has gone back on what Gyokeres and his camp feel is his word of letting him go for a lower figure. You see why words have no place in business? You need official documents. They've even threatened him recently because they're not happy with the offers that have come in. They've been threatening him and his agent with charging the full release clause. Now, look, I don't think that will happen. I think something will still come about. But the fact Arsenal have been interested, but not all in, from what I gather, have not actually made an official offer yet. That has been incredibly frustrating for Gyokeres. It's been incredibly frustrating for Sporting as well. And it's given a little bit of encouragement to Juventus. Fair play in that regard. What's this? This can't be anything in relation to Arsenal. Nothing. Apparently, Galatasaray want to sign Aaron Ramsdale on loan. Are we due any money? Apparently, Crystal Palace would be willing to accept 3 installments of approximately 20 million for Eze. They are no longer holding out for the majority of his reported 68 million release clause. Get it done, man. Bring him to the carpet. We've been linked with Camavinga, says this journalist. Arsenal have rekindled their interest in Camavinga as Thomas Partey's future remains unclear. The Gunners recently sounded out Real Madrid about Camavinga's situation after he had an inconsistent 2024-25 season. Madrid isn't selling unless they make a huge offer. I mean, he can play left back as well, but I can't see it. Awobi said, we like to sign Arsenal players. Maybe we'll sign another. When responding to questions about Fulham's business. Is that talking about Reece Nelson, who's apparently going to make that move permanent? Rafael was the most divisive name internally. This is from Bayern Munich sources. There are skeptical voices that doubt whether he truly fits Bayern's DNA. Criticism includes a lack of mentality, lack of defensive work, and too much ego. Can this apply to Arsenal? On the other hand, other decision makers believe that his potential is a risk and that he's worth taking a risk and committing to his transfer. Would you not make it that? If Partey does indeed depart, Arsenal apparently will actively seek to recruit another midfielder. That is reported by Ryan Taylor of the Sunday Mirror. Partey is 90% likely to leave. Once again, Zubimendi is going to wear the 36 shirt. The future of Rodrygo, who's admired by Arsenal, will be decided in the coming weeks after talks with Alonso, says being reported by the Times. Jonathan Bakayoko, who's been linked with Arsenal, has received an offer apparently from an undisclosed Premier League club. So I have to see what's going on there. Spurs have been linked with Nordgaard, obviously, because Thomas Frank's become the new Spurs gaffer. So they're going to get linked with Brentford players. I reckon they get Visa. So are the links with Nordgaard and Arsenal legit? I don't know. And it was so good. I had to put it up there twice, man. But yeah, man, let's see what else you lot are saying. Rodgers or Eze for central roles, I'd love. I reckon they could potentially take Odegaard out the starting 11, but we won't get them, bro. And that's where we're at. Any updates on Embuemo? No, but we're not going to grab him. Sesko could score 15 goals in a league campaign before asking for a release clause. How do we get these cronkies out? They're not going anywhere. I think realistically, after Williams and Rodrygo, it's players like Semenyo, Gordon that we will bag. For me, they're not big enough upgrades on Martinelli. Fighting words in the chat. What happened there? Arsenal take way too long to get signings done. If you really want to play, I'll pay the money and move on to the next target. Why is that so difficult for this club? I wish I had answers for you lot, man. If not Leao, Eze, I'd take Rodgers, but he's expensive too. But we should make a bid for Bacola. Don't seem like PSG want to let Bacola leave just yet. That's just agent talks to hurry Arsenal. It's all a bit of mind games, man. Partey was doing hoodoo to stay fit this season. Man sacrificed the entire squad's hamstrings for that new contract. This guy. Would you take João Felix? Nah. I'd love Belemba, but Belemba, you got to get these guys when they're at Leo, or you're probably looking at 70, 80 plus million for him, conservative. You know how we all know how Brighton operate. Maybe there's beef between Berta and Partey since Atletico. I hope bygones can be bygones, but yeah. If not Williams or Rodrygo, who's the next best option? This is something that Arsenal need to be able to answer, or we're in issues, man. Gyokeres all day. The Sesko release clause should tip the scales. Seems like a lot of gamesmanship, man. And it's one where I keep saying you would want to be or know Arteta or Berta so you can get the scoop. Because what's probably going on in the real world of football and what's being peddled out to us fans is probably something different. Havertz is a soft target. It is another expensive signing which is actually proving disruptive. But Declan Sideways is immune from criticism, so everyone can go after Kai. Easy scapegoat. Getting that Declan Rice is a bit mad. Top goal scorer despite missing half the season. Bro, we're going to win the league with Arteta up top and the Champions League too. You're moving, man. I don't know about the second part of that. You're probably trolling. Replace Cuesta with Cazorla. Yeah, but what? Because listen, Cazorla should always have a role at Arsenal. But what coaching experience does Cazorla have? Because Cuesta at 29 has, pardon me, achieved quite a lot. So it's romantic. But when you get down to the practicalities, what's going on? We're going to bomb this season. I hate to be the guy that looks like he's wishing this own club to lose, but look at the facts. We are not getting stuff done or moving like a club that wants to win. Boy, bring Santi in as assistant manager. Nah, you can get coaching wrong, but like